there everybody, my name is Layton and welcome back to my channel. Today we are moving on to episode 4 of the anime Death Note. I have been absolutely loving this show so far. I think it's so cool, such a unique concept. The animation is awesome, the story is 10 out of 10. In the last episode, I totally forgot to mention at the end of the last episode, so I'm saying it here now, I forgot to mention that we found out that Light, his dad, is Japanese Commissioner Gordon. I don't know his dad's name, but his dad looks so much like Commissioner Gordon from Batman. I just thought that was hilarious and I never said it and I meant to. But yeah, we found out that, which adds an extra layer to the drama because this man is literally leading the charge in trying to track down Light. Doesn't realize it's his own son killing these people under his own roof with the help of a god of death. So that was spicy, that was some drama. And Light is a little smart, manipulative little bastard, and he figured out, oh, so they think that I'm a student, so I'll keep killing these people the same way that I have been, aka via heart attack, but I'll spread it out throughout the day. And I'm not quite sure. Elle says that Light was trying to get across a message that he can do whatever he wants whenever he wants, like he can kill at certain times of day. I don't really know if Light was, I mean, I know Light's smart, so maybe he was, but I was under the impression until Elle said that Light was trying to get the suspicion off of him. I don't know if Elle's giving him too much credit or if that really was his plan, but Light says that his plan is to turn Elle and the police against each other because Elle is going to want to then investigate the police because they figured out that whoever is doing the killings has access to police records, and Elle investigating the police is going to upset them, so then they're going to try to investigate Elle and it'll get them all distracted and hung up on investigating each other. I said, and I still stand by it, that I think that plan's going to work against Light because I think Elle's a little too smart for that. He's gonna find the police officers who have children in school, and then it's all gonna be over for Light. There's also somebody currently stalking Light, and I don't think it has anything to do with Elle because Elle doesn't know anything about Light yet, so he doesn't have anybody he would be sending after Light, I don't think. So I think this is somebody completely unrelated. And then the episode ended with Ryuk offering Light a deal where he could give Light his power of sight, meaning he could see people's names just by looking at them. It's floats above their head, their name, and when they're destined to die, or their lifespan or something, I think it is. And if Light makes this deal, if he gets those powers, then he gives up half of his own lifespan, which, as I said in the last episode, I think is a terrible idea because you don't even know how long your lifespan is. I wonder if you could look in the mirror and see it after you get the powers. That'd be interesting. But I think it's a terrible idea, but I do think that Light's gonna make the deal, but I don't know if he's gonna make it immediately or if he's gonna put it off thinking no, that's not a good deal until he desperately needs it and then he's gonna make the deal. But I guess we'll never know which way it'll go unless we dive into this episode. That all kind of rhymed weirdly. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. But anyway, I'm ready to jump into this episode if you are. So with all that said, let's go. But first, really quick, I need to give a quick shout out to some of my new patrons. So here they are, these awesome, wonderful, beautiful people. And if you would like your name added to that list, if you would like access to a ton of really cool perks, including access to my fully edited but uncut reactions of everything that I have reacted to on this channel so far, then go ahead and check out my Patreon. The link is in the description down below. I promise you won't regret it, especially if you want early access to those types of videos because you can get those at the $10 tier. It's a really good deal, I think. But yeah, so then with all that said, let's go. Pursuit.
Has anyone seen
Who are we
Ryuk
in
around
pursuit
lately?
of?
Maybe he was serious about losing his death note.
I actually heard he was carrying 2 death notes.
I'll never understand that guy.
The price for receiving the eyes of a Shinigami is no more than half of my remaining lifespan?
Yes. Well then, do we have a deal or not?
I think Ryuk has...
This deal is out of the question.
Okay. So he's gonna do it eventually. He's gonna do the deal eventually. But anyway, I think Ryuk has his own thing going on. He's acting like he's just around because he's bored. I think he's got his own plan, his own vendetta.
My plan is to create an ideal new world free from evil and all criminals. And I intend to reign as a god in that world for a very long time.
Okay, that's what I was saying.
You of all
It's a
people
stupid...
should know I wouldn't take this deal.
I still felt I should tell you that the deal existed. I don't need you complaining I didn't tell you this earlier on.
This is what you call telling me early on? I don't see why you couldn't have told me this when we met. Or better yet, you could have simply included it in the instructions for the Death Note.
Good point.
You sure there's nothing else you want to tell me ahead of time?
No, nothing else. Probably.
Probably. Okay. He's got something going on.
I might have seriously considered the deal if you'd offered me wings instead of eyes. Just the idea of flying around freely in the sky sounds very godlike.
You'd stand out if you sprouted wings and flew around.
I was only joking. If I keep bargaining for eyes and wings and whatever else, next thing you know I'm gonna end up becoming a real Shinigami. Though who knows? I bet that could be pretty interesting.
Clearly it's not interesting if this is what he's doing for entertainment.
The Shinigami realm is slowly rotting. The truth of the matter is that we no longer even know why we exist. What I'm saying is, compared to that, you're becoming a much more impressive Shinigami.
I don't want to be compared to a Shinigami. But I wouldn't necessarily say that the Shinigami realm is meaningless to humans either. Whenever a Shinigami like you comes to the human world once every 100, no more like every 1,000 years, the human world changes dramatically. The existence of the Shinigami realm is extremely significant. You told me just now that the Shinigami realm is slowly rotting, right? Well, when you return from this world, why not use what you've learned here to try and change it for the better?
I'm not sure why I never noticed this until now, but you're quite the positive thinker.
Probably because
Yeah,
he's
of
been
course I am.
murdering people.
That's why I'm using the Death Note to create a better world. You have to be a positive thinker to even attempt something like this.
Oh my god. He's so full of himself. He's a narcissist. That's what he
That's
is.
it. I think I just figured out how to find the name of the guy who was following me today. I'm gonna use the rules of the Death Note to my advantage. First, I need to know exactly how far I can go in terms of specifying the details of death.
Yeah, it's me. Another 6 inmates were found dead last night. All were heart attacks. Bizarre behavior before they died. Could you be more specific?
Before one of them died, he drew a pentagram on the wall of his cell using his own blood. Another left a letter, but it doesn't seem to be a will or anything meaningful. And as for the third victim, he escaped from his cell and ran all the way to the staff bathrooms before he died.
Why is he still killing them as heart attacks? I guess he wants the recognition, maybe?
What is it, Watari?
3 more heart attack victims, but the circumstances of their deaths are different from what we've seen thus far. I'm sending you a copy of a letter as well as pictures taken at the scene.
It sounds like he was afraid that Kira would find him. It's believable that our victim might have been genuinely afraid and wrote this, but we know Kira can control the time of death. What if he can also determine the actions in the moments leading up to death?
Chief, we can't release details of these men's deaths to the media. I have reason to believe that Kira was performing some kind of test using these criminals. And if that's the case, we'd only be giving him the results if this information is leaked to the public.
He's playing with people's lives as if all this was just a game.
This is your
It's
son, man.
unforgivable.
It's your son. Hate to break it
If
to you.
Kira is really using criminals as test subjects, what is he trying to achieve?
I'm curious why he was what he's testing for.
I think we're in luck. The results of yesterday's little test have already been downloaded onto my dad's computer. And these results are just as I expected. One of them escaped and ran into the bathroom I had specified in the Death Note. Another one drew the same symbol I had drawn in the Death Note before he died. A third wrote the same letter I had written in the Death Note, word for word. All 3 did exactly what I intended them to do. For the other 3 inmates, I purposely wrote conditions that were virtually impossible. With the first one, I wrote that he would die in front of the Eiffel Tower in 1 hour. Since this couldn't happen, he simply died of a heart attack in prison. The next was supposed to draw an exact picture of Elle's face on the prison wall. You can't draw someone you've never seen, right?
Makes sense.
Interesting.
With the last one, I specified that he would write a note that read, "I know that Elle is suspicious of the Japanese police." I actually expected this one to work, but it didn't end up happening. Which means it's impossible to make someone write what they don't already know. Or, at the very least, it has to be the kind of thing that they could come up with on their own. But, as long as it's within the realistic limits of what that person might do, I can control them as much as I want before they die.
Interesting.
These latest victims will no doubt keep Elle and the police guessing. Even as we speak, he's probably trying to decipher all the clues I left for him, especially that little note.
If Kira used those criminals to conduct an experiment of some sort, it means he's about to start something. Could the pentagram and this letter be some kind of message? Is this it?
Time for the real thing. It's kinda last minute, but I'm sure I can find someone.
Hello? Light?
When he dies, if he can't go to heaven or hell, where will he go? I kind of wonder if he'll become, I don't remember what they're called, Shirigami, or what, the god of death. Like, is that how they're created, or?
He's still following me.
Who is that?
This whole thing would just be a waste of time if he wasn't tailing me.
Light!
A date? But this isn't just a date, is it? You said that you'd figured out a way to find your stalker's name.
Didn't you see what I wrote in the death note? I explained it in great detail.
No. Doing that would take all the fun out of it.
During the week, he goes to school and cram school at night. Dates on his day off. A normal kid, just a hardworking senior in high school. No cause for suspicion.
It is L's man. Well, no cause for suspicion except Light's an idiot and he's gonna do something that's gonna make him suspicious.
It's him. He's here. 7 passengers, excluding him. No one's in the way. Everything should go smoothly.
Stay in your seats unless you want to die! All right, driver. You listen to me. I know you've got the number for Spaceland's office on you. Call him!
This is Sasaki, calling from bus 174. My bus has been hijacked, and he's holding a gun
What's
to my
the
head.
plan?
You heard what he said. Have a female staff member bring all of Spaceland's cash from yesterday. If you mess with me at all, or try to get the police involved, I swear I'll kill every one of these passengers.
Light's just like, yep, I know what's happening.
Beauty, don't be scared. As soon as he turns around, I'm going to grab the gun out of his hand.
Don't be stupid. That's risky. If it comes to that, I'll take care of it.
Do you have any proof that you're not his accomplice? I've read about this before. The first hijacker comes in like he's working alone. Meanwhile, a second one pretends to be a hostage and stays in the very back just in case something goes wrong.
I have no choice. I'm sure Light Yagami isn't Kira. If he was, he could just kill this guy with a heart attack. Here's my proof.
You've been duped, bamboozled.
FBI? I see. L needed an outsider, so we got the FBI to investigate anyone connected to the Japanese police. Ray Penber.
Oh no. Oh wait, is it a fake name?
Get the hell up, you old hag! You want me to shoot you right now?
This guy, his face was all over the local news just a few days ago. He's extremely dangerous.
We're safe. He won't shoot us. In fact, he's not gonna do anything.
Don't move, you little punk!
Yeah, I think maybe he has less control than
What the hell is that?
he thinks.
Smartass! You guys were planning something back here, weren't you? Plans for a date, huh? Stupid kid.
Gotcha.
What's the plan? I'm trying to figure out what's gonna happen. I don't know.
Who the hell are you? You in the very back.
Oh, is it a page from the Death Notes?
What's this? You're talking to me?
Stay there, you!
Oh.
This isn't good. He's hallucinating.
Everyone, get down!
That little note that Light accidentally dropped was actually torn from the pages of the Death Note itself.
Yeah.
Since he tricked this guy into touching the paper, he's the only other one on the bus who can see me.
Get away!
Sorry, pal. I'm a Shinigami, so I'm afraid your bullets aren't gonna kill me.
See, I feel like that's also like a normal reaction to have when you see this thing. Light did not react that way.
Stop the bus! Let me off!
And that's how he dies. I wonder if the FBI agent is an L though, so is he smart enough to piece it together?
Everything went just as I planned. Kiichiro Osoreda boards the 1131 Spaceland-bound bus holding a loaded gun and attempts to hijack the bus. He sees a horrific phantom and empties his gun trying to kill it. He dies when struck by a car.
Crazy.
The Death Note never fails. You will be next, Ray Penber.
Why are you gonna kill the FBI agent though? I guess he doesn't know that he's getting So Light doesn't know that he's basically in the clear. Like, he doesn't realize that he was about to get marked off as not suspicious of possibly being Kira. But now, if he kills his FBI agent, then it's gonna be very obvious that it's him because he's the last person that the FBI agent was following. Again, I think that Light's downfall is gonna be his hubris. He thinks he's so clever, he thinks he's outsmarting so many people, he thinks he's so great. And I think that's gonna be what does him in the end. It was very interesting to learn some more of the rules of the Death Note, finding out that there's very specific circumstances that people can or can't die. Like, it has to follow the rules of time and space, you know? Somebody, if they're supposed to die in front of the Eiffel Tower, but they're not anywhere near France, then they're just gonna keel over. They can't say or do anything that's outside of the range of what they would logically say or do. So that's interesting. Definitely, I think a few more rules being in place for how this stuff works is a good idea. Like, as many as possible in this case, because there's so many loopholes that you could find that, like, the more concrete we make this world, I think, is the better. What I'm still wondering is, does Ryuk have some side plot that he has going on that he's not letting us be privy to? I think maybe he does. I feel like, you know, he said he was bored, that, you know, the world that he comes from is like falling apart, it's dilapidated. All of the gods of death are kind of bored and they just spend all of their time gambling, and they don't really use their death notes anymore unless it's to keep their own lifespans going, and the only reason they keep doing that despite how their world is falling apart is because they are afraid of dying themselves. He said all of that, so like it makes sense that he's bored and he just wants something to do to keep himself entertained. You know, he said that because a human found the death note, he has to stay there in the human world with it until like the human dies, or there was something else. Either the human dies or something else happens to the death note. I don't remember what it was. But if that's the case, then I guess there couldn't be a second death note out there in the world, right? Because he would have to be there with it. So then maybe the second death note is that one that he has on him, because he had one on him, which then again leads me to think that he has some kind of secret thing going on that he's planning on doing. Because if he purposely got 2 death notes so that he could lose one and still have one, then there has to be a reason for that, right? I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping that it sticks. I'm probably like nowhere close to guessing what's actually happening, what's actually going on. But I don't know. My brain's just like going because I'm so fascinated by this show. I think it's so cool. And I am more than ready to move on to episode 5. So with all of that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to hit the like button and make sure to subscribe so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. In the comments, for those of you who have not seen this show yet, I'd love to hear your thoughts on what Ryuk might be up to. If you think that he has something going on, like what do you think his plan is? Or if you don't think he has something going on, let me know that too. And whether you've seen the show or not, without spoilers, just generally tell me, what do you think of the show so far? If you've seen it, like, what were your thoughts on the show at this point when you were watching it? Did you suspect that Ryuk had something, you know, a side plot, a little secret vendetta going on? Or did you kind of take what he said at face value? Again, no spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen the whole show yet. But yeah, I'd like to know what you think. Also, before we go, one final reminder to check out my Patreon if you're interested in getting access to a ton of really cool perks, especially if you'd like to watch my extended, uncut but fully edited reactions. Patreon's the place to go. Link is in the description. And finally, I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.